The US government apparently didn't adequately secure its top secret files, but when it came to arresting the 21-year-old accused of leaking the documents, the FBI came heavily armed and mob-handed. But the visuals of the dramatic arrest go nowhere to answering the key question today: how it is that a relative junior in the Massachusetts Air National Guard allegedly had access to reams of highly classified documents in the first place and was then able to download them and share them with his gaming friends online.
This is apparently, allegedly, a 21-year-old kid, Air National Guardsman, who was trying to impress his friends. This is not exactly Beijing and Russia's best cyber operators doing here. And so clearly there's an awful lot of work, a lot of congressional oversight work we need to do to fix these systems that are constantly allowing, or at least regularly allowing, our secrets to get out into the wild.
That a US congressman openly said this on national TV tells you all you need to know about the shockwaves rippling through America, as Teixeira appeared in court this morning and was charged on 2 counts: retention and transmission of national defense information and willful retention of classified documents, both of which carry a maximum sentence of 15 years in prison.
Is there any comment at all that you can make? Anything you can tell us about your son? Keep that away from my shoulder.
His mother, here wearing the purple T-shirt, refused to answer questions after the hearing, but inside she reportedly cried and prayed while her son was being charged. His father called out, "Love you, Jack," at the end of the hearing. "Love you too, Dad," Teixeira replied. The guardsman allegedly began posting the classified documents to his online gaming group, Thug Shaker Central, apparently unnoticed last December. But they gradually went viral and journalists were on the trail. The New York Times compared this image on the left, which shows a photo he allegedly took of one of the secret documents laid out on the kitchen worktop of his family home, with the worktop in the photo on the right of Teixeira inside the family's kitchen that he posted on another website. One of his gaming friends described Teixeira as a charismatic young man who loves nature, God, and shooting guns.
Any claims that he is a Russian operative or pro-Russian is categorically false. He is not interested in helping any foreign agency.
But by sharing top secret documents about America's view of Ukraine's military vulnerabilities, Teixeira may have done precisely that. Serious allegations that will no doubt be aired in his next appearance in court on Wednesday.
Well, joining me now is Malcolm Nance, a former US intelligence officer with 36 years' experience, first with the US Navy, then as a contractor working in the Middle East. And last year, he joined the Ukrainian Foreign Legion and took part in the liberation of Kharkiv and Kherson, again working in intelligence. Malcolm, it's good to have you in the studio. Who is most damaged by these leaks?
I think the people who are going to suffer the most are actually going to be the immediate chain of command of this young airman.
Right.
You know, the defense intelligence and clearing process has expanded dramatically since 9/11. People have come in by the millions to get the average clearances. Now,
and to share this stuff as well, right?
Right. And so they've started giving access to people who really shouldn't have access. Now, granted, he worked for a squadron that could have had a deployment near or in the area of Ukraine. But way back when I got my top secret SCI clearance at 19 years old, the emphasis on your oath, your loyalty to the nation, and how damaging it would be was really a heavy, heavy pressure. I don't think they have that pressure anymore.
Because we don't see leakers, as far as we know, in this country or France or Germany or Italy. It's America. You know, Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning, and now this guy, allegedly.
Sure, and the reasons that they do it are sort of unique to Generation Z. My father, he joined the military in World War II at 15. He instilled in me how important it was to have that loyalty to your country, and that your oath, when you took it, meant something. It wasn't just words. I think when you talk to somebody who goes out and he games and he plays Call of Duty and these things that are military-like, and we've seen this tendency to want to brag, to show people.
You think that's what this was, bragging?
I think quite a bit of it was bragging to show that he was the big dog in the gaming community, which means we are not tearing his social media world apart while they have clearances.
Okay, so you know Ukraine really well. You were there last year in a crucial period, the liberation of Kherson and Kharkiv. And of course, there is stuff in these documents that is potentially very damaging to the Ukrainians, least, especially for their morale.
Right.
Right. Is it damaging?
Well, some of that information that was on there is a little suspicious. I can tell you right now, some of the things that I had read could not have been written by U.S. intelligence. They were just really almost lauding the Russians in the way that they were doing combat. I can tell you personally, I've been in combat with the Russians. There is nothing laudable about how they're fighting. They are losing badly. However, it's a war of attrition in some respects.
So is there anything in there that would make Ukrainian soldiers on the front line that you know have pause for thought?
No, because I have a battalion right now. I support them right to this very minute that are on the front line. They're fighting in Bakhmut in the International Legion. And none of this is going to affect them, no matter, unless the actual numbers about surface-to-air missiles dwindling stocks is real. Then
what about Republicans in America who think we shouldn't be putting that much money into this war anymore, or unlimited supplies of weapons?
Yeah, well, the Republicans are ideological, and their ideology is the fervent love of Donald Trump. And whatever Donald Trump says is correct. Donald Trump is practically a subsidiary of Vladimir Putin. So, of course, they're going to support whatever he says. But, that means they've also lost their own belief in the love of American democracy.
Trump would obviously deny that.
Well, of course, he'd deny it.
He's not here to do so, Okay. So what about unity or lack of amongst the allies? Is that affected by this?
No, I don't think it's affected by much. Look, the Five Eyes, countries share this information all the time. We had a recent leak from Germany, which turns out to have come from a Russian intelligence officer, asset who was bought by Germany, where these things are resilient. And in 20 years, it'll be a great note in some book on intelligence history, but it's not going to affect our relationship.
And just